Okay, let's dive into this. We've seen a lot of reports lately about Canada-US flights. Seems like numbers are down.
Yeah, quite a bit. We got airline data, booking stats, even some government advisories pointing to changes.
Right. So our goal here is really just to, figure out what's actually happening. What does it mean for you, the listener, if you travel between Canada and the US?
Exactly. A quick briefing on a situation that seems to be, well, evolving.
We should look at which routes are getting cut. I saw some surprising ones. And then the big why, right? Is it just demand or something else?
And maybe touch on alternatives too, if your usual flight isn't running.
Good point. Okay, so the big picture first. What are we seeing overall?
Well, the major Canadian carriers, Air Canada, WestJet, they're definitely reducing U.S. flights for next spring and summer 2025.
Reducing by how much, roughly?
Overall, planned seats are down about 4.4%. But if you look just at the Canadian Airlines, it's more like a 6.1% cut.
Okay, that's noticeable.
And it's happening now. Like this past April, there were about 400 fewer flights than airlines had originally scheduled.
Wow. And what about bookings? Are people still buying tickets?
That's maybe the most dramatic number. Bookings in April down a massive 70% compared to last year.
70%. That's huge.
It really is. It signals something more than just a, slight dip.
And it's not just one or two routes, is it? I saw Montreal to San Fran, Montreal to Miami.
Yeah, Vancouver to Miami, Vancouver to DC. It's pretty widespread.
Didn't WestJet cancel a brand new route too? Vancouver to Austin, I think?
They did. Canceled just weeks before it was supposed to launch. That kind of last-minute pullback really tells you something.
It suggests maybe airlines are getting a bit nervous about the U.S. market. Some people are even calling it a sort of freeze on expansion there.
It certainly points to a significant reevaluation, yeah. So the why, demand seems to be the main driver mentioned.
Right. The sources point to a big drop in travel interest, both leisure and business.
Apparently so. Border crossings were down, 12.5% in February, 18% in March.
And business travel took a massive hit.
A 40% drop Canada to the U.S. in early 2025. WestJet specifically cited that downward shift in demand.
So the airlines are reacting to what they're seeing in the booking numbers and crossing stats. Makes sense.
But it might not just be economics. There's talk of a kind of psychological freeze, too.
What do you mean by that?
Well, concerns about the political situation down south, maybe stricter border checks, that kind of thing.
And government advisories playing a role?
Possibly. We saw that poll in April. 60% of Canadians saying they were avoiding U.S. travel because of the political climate.
60% is a high number. That definitely suggests it's more than just ticket prices influencing decisions.
For sure. And those advisories, while not maybe outright warnings, they do mention potential delays, more scrutiny at the border. That can put people off.
Okay, so demand is down, partly economic, partly maybe psychological or political concerns. What else? Are airlines just shrinking?
Not entirely. They seem to be shifting focus, reallocating planes.
Where to?
Transatlantic looks like a key area. Europe, mainly. Demand seems stronger there.
So they're putting the planes where the money is, essentially.
You could say that. Air Canada actually stated they're moving capacity into other sectors where we see strength. It might be a longer-term shift.
Interesting. Okay, so if flying is trickier or maybe more expensive, what about alternatives?
Ground travel is the obvious one. Train options exist, right?
Yeah, Amtrak has those cross-border routes. Toronto, New York, Montreal, New York, Vancouver, Seattle. Those are still running.
And buses, too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Greyhound, Flixbus. They have pretty extensive networks. Often cheaper, though obviously slower.
True. Driving's always an option, too. But I saw something about new U.S. registration rules.
Yeah, apparently for longer stays, like 30 days or more, you might need to register your vehicle online now. That kicked in around April 2025, so something to be aware of.
Good to know. Okay, one last crucial thing. What if your flight does get canceled because of these schedule changes? What rights do you have?
Ah, yes. Canada's Air Passenger Protection Regulations, the APPR. That's key here.
So if the airline cancels because, say, demand is low and they're adjusting schedules, is that considered within their control?
Generally, yes. Schedule changes like these, driven by their own operational or commercial decisions, usually fall under the airline's control, according to APPR.
And if it's within their control and causes a significant delay, what's significant? 3 hours.
3 hours or more arrival delay, yeah. Then you might be entitled to compensation depending on the airline's size and length of delay. And rebooking, or a refund, of course.
Okay, so it's really important for you, the traveler, to know those rights if you get caught up in this.
Absolutely. Don't just accept a cancellation without checking what you're owed.
So wrapping this up then, It seems the Kennedy U.S. travel picture is definitely changing. Flights are being reduced, demand is down for various reasons.
And airlines are pivoting. Plus, you've got ground options to consider.
The main takeaway seems to be